Kia ora, welcome to episode 2 of
Stuntman does man shit.
also known as
Stuntman does man stuff.
sorry about that. Roll the intro. So we're still in lockdown, and just like you, I'm trying to keep busy, trying to do some DIY. Bertie loved that. Playing PlayStation. But today I'm going to do something more manly. I'm going to share with you my home gym equipment and some of the exercises that I like to do. Besides, what's more manly than getting some gains? Ain't nothing more manly than getting those gains, boy. Yeah, get them gain, get them gain, get them gain. Probably a bit late to call it lockdown exercises. There's loads of amazing content out there, but this stuff does apply to everyday home gym equipment use. And at the end, I'll give you my top 3 home exercise items. Now you're probably wondering, where do I go to do all these exercises? Well, I'll show you right now. Gainesville. Hang on, it's not coming up. Sorry mate. Do you know how to get to
Gainesville.
Gainesville? Yeah, sure. It's that way. Oh, okay. How do you spell Gainesville, by the way? I was trying to find it on Google Maps, it didn't come up. G-A-I-N-Z with a Z. Obvious. All aboard the train to Gainesville!
Somebody call the vet because these puppies are sick.
Anyway, enough messing about. I've got a selection of exercises for each piece of equipment that I have. So I'll read out the piece of equipment and then I'll show you some clips and some exercises with that specific type of equipment. So a lot of it is stuff that is relatively inexpensive. I've got a range of stuff that is a little bit more expensive, but I think is worth it. It's up to you to decide what you think is worth it. And if you guys like it, invest in the equipment that I'm showing you. Made some notes just in case. Might just read off them. I'll try not to make too much of that noise. The mic's down here, there. So the first piece of equipment that I bought a while back and I think is invaluable is a weight vest. Different exercises you can do, the obvious bodyweight ones, push-ups, dips between chairs, or if you have a parallette that's high enough to do dips, that works too. Squats, obviously, lunges, either reverse lunges, regular lunges, walking lunges, all those options. Pike press-ups or handstand push-ups if you're strong enough, or you could superset the pike push-ups with the weight vest and then without the weight vest do the handstand push-ups, and step-ups, and basically any other bodyweight exercise that you like to do. You can do plank as well. I don't really do that very often, but some people like to do that kind of stuff. So the next piece of equipment is a kettlebell. I actually don't own a kettlebell. You'll see on the screen that I sometimes take my weights, and they're tri-plates, so they have 3 holes as well as the hole for the barbell, and I thread a ratchet strap through and use my gymnastics rings as the handle, and I go to about 15 kilos, so 5 kilo plates. 5 kilo plates? 3 5 kilo plates, bad maths. Yeah, that's one way of improvising. So I call that the DIY kettlebell. I think it's a good idea. It's something that you can do if you've got those bits lying around. But exercises that you can do with the kettlebell, or you can do them with a dumbbell as well. kettlebell swings, goblet squats, clean and press, shoulder press, biceps curls, single leg Romanian deadlifts is a good one actually. I like to do that. It's quite good for the posterior chain. The next piece of equipment I like to use is an easy curl bar. It really doesn't take up that much space. I like to stack the weights on top of each other and then just stick the bar in it and it stands up. It takes up a small corner in a room, so it's honestly a great piece of equipment to have at home. Also, these exercises can be done with dumbbells, which I do have somewhere. They're only small ones, like 5 kilo. Sometimes I have these other small plates and I'll strap them on, try and make it up to 9 kilos or 10 kilos. You can see those there. You'll see them on the screen anyway. I love these fat grips. These are so handy. I put them on top of the easy curl bar, and what I'll do is I'll do a drop set without them first. I'll do like a heavy set and then I put these on, drop the weight down a little, do heavier on the biceps, and then hit the forearms at the end. Those are really handy. I use them all the time. Shoulder press is another good exercise with the easy curl bar. Standing tricep extensions. Bench press, and you could do it with or without bands. I like to add bands because I don't have enough weight, so I'll just put the band around behind my back and through my thumbs, you'll see in the video, and I'll just be pressing it with the bar. I think it's a great thing. Just at the top of the lockout you get a little bit more load. Yeah, get it. Skull crushers are another favorite. Now I'm using an improvised bench, so if you don't have a bench at home you need to improvise. So I just use a little kind of like storage box that we have, and notice the angle, so it's not vertical with the arm in the final position. It's a little bit of an angle, just keeps the load on the triceps. I actually stole that from Athlean-x, Jeff Cavaliere. You should check out his channel, he's awesome. Dumbbell crossbody extensions, so lying down, superset with something a little bit lighter like a 5 kilo right at the end of doing the tricep extensions. Deadlifts, if you've got enough weight you don't need the bands, but at home it's more than likely that you'll need to add bands. So I don't have a full Olympic deadlift bar at home or bench press, so I just use the easy curl bar, put some bands on it, and then at the top at the lockout I get a little bit more load. I've written reverse flying, I'm not really sure why I wrote that. I guess I'm looking for reverse flies, that was autocorrect. That's with the dumbbells. Lateral raise, Y raise, and the front raise. I do them like as a set together. One set basically, 3 different movements. I think it really hits the shoulders. As you can see, you're getting all angles, getting the mid deltoid and the anterior deltoid as well. And with the reverse flies, you're hitting the posterior deltoid, so there's part at the back of your shoulder. So I bought these Paralettes. These are awesome. These are British made. As you can see, I think they're pretty well made. They've got like the little rubber bits and stuff. Good grip, feels solid, they sit on the ground nice. They're a good length that I don't need any bigger than this, so I use these at home. These are awesome. You can do press-ups or different variations, so different angle changes, you know, will just give you a little bit different angle on the chest. I think they're pretty awesome. I definitely recommend those. L-sits you can do dips between chairs as well using those. Planche holds, so these are more advanced calisthenics, so I'm not really that strong in the calisthenics, trying to get stronger, so I use bands a lot, but I try and maintain the postures. Different planche progressions you can do as well, and obviously planche push-ups if you can do it. I mean, if you can do this stuff without bands, then great, you're a lot stronger than I am, so go for it. But these are just giving you examples of things you can do to try and make it easier for yourself. Now I've got a pull-up bar. That's what these rings are hanging from behind me. It's one that basically fits in the doorway. I've wanted to have one of these at home for so long, but I kept forgetting to buy one. Finally bought one. Cannot remember where I bought it from, maybe eBay or something. I'll put a link in the description. Basic exercises, pull-ups, chin-ups. Sometimes I like to give myself a little bit of extra motivation, as you can see. Strap a little protein bar to the top, a little bite every time. You can do them with band assisted as well if you're not strong enough, or if you just want to do a high volume set. So for example, say I can do 10 pull-ups quite easily, but maybe I want to just get a little bit more blood flow into the biceps or my back, so I might put a band on and then try and hit like 20 to 30. Static holds, different variations of static holds, really good. It's not actually isometrics, people think it is, but isometrics is when you push against an immovable load. So these static holds that are in gymnastics based calisthenics are really good for tendon and bicep strength. You've got the muscles locked in an activated position, so they're really good for stabilization and all those little tiny muscles. You can do front lever holds or front lever pulls. Hanging L sits. Again, if you're not strong enough to do these for more than 10 seconds without bands, then just use the bands and just work your way up. A lot of these cross over to the rings as well. As you can see, I've got these standardized gymnastics rings for having at home. They've got obviously the straps that come with it, wooden, you can chalk them up. I don't use too much chalk at home because it gets everywhere. More hoovering for me, I guess, which I'm really bad at. So with the rings, I could do a few different things. I could do inverted rows, which you could actually do with the bar. You just have to drop the bar down to sort of like a mid-height, and then you can use that to do the inverted rows. Single arm holds, so using a false grip, you'll see now, you can change your body angle to make it harder or easier, whichever you prefer. You can do push-ups on the rings. You can do dips on the rings as well. Planche holds, obviously, I'm using a band. I'm not strong enough to do it without. Chin-ups on the rings, obviously you could do those. And there's a whole bunch of muscle-up progressions you can do. Man, that was a tongue twister. That took me like 10 takes. And that brings me to my next thing, so bands. I've got a whole bunch of these here, different colors, from the easiest all the way up to the hardest. Got this big boy here. There's the big one. I can't actually remember offhand how much force is required for each of those bands, but I think the red one is something like 15 to 35 pounds, and then it kind of goes up from there.
You can do exercises like overhead tricep extensions, internal and external rotator cuff exercises.
Y raises overhead, put them over your neck and do squats. Bent over row you can do as well, standing on the band. And if you have a door attachment, which I have, you can see I've tied knots in so it gets jammed in the door. I can use it as a way of attaching the bands, do some tricep press. Single arm lat row, or you can do dual as well, doesn't matter. Chest press is another thing you can do using that. Standing rear flies. You can actually do those in a doorway as well. Again, stole this from Cavaliere, Athlean-x. It's an awesome exercise, I've just seen it. Man, I am starving. I'm gonna have to take a little break, carb up, get those gains.
Yeah! Get it. Oh yeah. Get it.
Yeah! I call this posh pork and beans, so I hope you enjoy. Absolutely disgusting. I actually thought that would taste really nice, but it just didn't taste as good. The only reason I made it was because normally I'll get like the beans with pork sausages, and I thought, oh yeah, this will taste great. I've got these really nice sausages, but it just didn't go for some reason. I have no idea why, so I apologize for making you watch that. I'm pretty sure that everybody has one of these. The trusty old backpack. I'm sure you've been seeing loads of people using these in the lockdown period, but actually is an amazing idea. So I put a towel in the bottom just so that the weights that I put in it aren't going straight into the bottom of the backpack, just to protect the stitching a little bit. Chuck a few weights in there, whatever you have lying around, you know, even if you got like a few bags of rice, potatoes, whatever, just chuck some stuff in there. It's similar to a weight vest, so do a lot of similar exercises, push-ups, pull-ups, plank holds, taking the backpack off and using it as a DIY kettlebell or dumbbells. You can do bicep curls with it, shoulder press. You can do lunges holding it, lunges with a rotation. You can do squat holds and hold it out in front of you. So amazing range of exercises you can do with just a backpack. Now the next piece of equipment I've got, these are very niche. So I've got these arm wrestling handles, Mazurenko. You'll see it up on the screen anyway, but this one is primarily for finger cupping strength. So it's really going into the fingers, and you put a load on the end. So I put bands on the end, and then I'm just pulling in towards myself. This is a rolling handle. Well, it's not actually a rolling handle. What is it? It's like a supination handle, but yeah, it goes like this. So like so, you'll see it kind of rolls up, and then you hang some weight off the end of it. As that's pulling down, it's trying to open out your hand, so you're having to like curl that weight. And I use just a hanging weight, get into a lock position and do a few wrist curls. Sometimes I'll use it on a cable machine just to pull down. I obviously don't have that at home, so at home I would use the band again with that high attachment. And then the Mazurenko handle comes with the various types of handles. You'll see like the cone, and you'll see just the regular cylinder. Sometimes I use that as like a makeshift cable. I'll attach it to a band and then I'll do bicep curls with it. Obviously that's a really niche piece of equipment. I don't expect most people to want to be buying arm wrestling equipment. Get it? Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot my grippers. Captains of Crush. Come on, autofocus. Hook us up, cuz. See, training. But these are awesome for grip. Alright guys, so my top 3 has actually become top 5 because I couldn't actually decide. They're ranked in order of first to last, but I just wanted to add a couple on the end because I thought some people might appreciate it. I've written a list here. So my number 1 has come up as the weight vest. So I just think it's an amazing piece of equipment to have at home. It doesn't take up much space, and you can do such an amazing range of exercises. So if I was literally stranded on a desert island and I had a weight vest, I'd be pretty happy, to be honest, getting a lot of body weight exercises in there. The second one is the pull-up bar. So again, it's such an amazing piece of equipment to have at home. I wish I'd bought one years ago, so that's why I've got that in number 2. Number 3 are the bands. So that actually might sit higher for someone else, because if you don't really want to buy a pull-up bar or a weight vest, I would definitely recommend the bands. The bands are invaluable. You can do so many different exercises, and there's so many resources online of what you can do. Now the rings, number 4. I love the rings. I'm not really strong on the rings, but I just love using them. So having them at home, if you do have a pull-up bar, it makes sense. You've got somewhere to hang them. But if you don't have a pull-up bar, you can still use that high anchor in the doorway, like I said, and you can be doing all sorts of different exercises, pulling and pushing exercises with them. As you can see, I think they're pretty well made. They've got like the little rubber bits and stuff. Good grip, feels solid. They sit on the ground nice there. Alright guys, I hope this video has been informative. I hope it's helped you with some ideas of what you can do at home, some DIY equipment. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Please check out Chris Heria, Officialthenx. I use his channel a lot, subscribe to that. Amazing calisthenics exercises, a lot of cool progressions. And check out Jeff Cavaliere at Athlean-x. He's amazing as well. A bit more conventional stuff that you would see in the gym, but different take. And if you hit a plateau, he's got some amazing things of just how to get you up out of that. So that brings us to the end of episode 2. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Peace out.